that was a good way to start off Monday Night Raw. And then it just went to crap after that. Good 15 minutes. That sucks when you only got a good 15 minutes of a show. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Wrestling Recap Show. I'm your host, Big Mike. We're here to discuss Monday Night Raw. And we're going to be talking about a couple of things that happened on this Raw. Notably the beginning. And notably why did they do this. And notably if it's going to happen immediately or if at all. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we started off Raw with a Falls Count Anywhere match with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. So we all heard about the news with Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff being their executive producer of creatives of each show's role. And we were thinking, okay, is it going to be effective immediately? Is it going to take some time? What's going to happen? Well, from what I seen in the first 15 minutes, it looked like it's effective immediately, slowly. Because this was probably the best opening to Raw in a long time. In a very long time. Maybe last couple years. Last couple years. I would say, when was WrestleMania 33? 33 was what? 2016? Yeah. So about 3 years. This was the best opening to Monday Night Raw in a while. We start because of what it was. Now, it was like a sneak up on you type of thing because we're thinking, oh, Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, I don't feel like seeing this. They're brawling. And they fight on the outside. They get to the ramp. He's near Bobby Lashley is near the LED board of the entrance. You walk out and then there's a flat board that's right there. It's like a curved board and then a flat board and then it's a thing up top. He was along the flat part. Braun Strowman ran as fast as he could, tackled him through the LED board. Pyro going off like crazy. Just pop, 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 like they're being electrocuted. You know how they would hit the boards and stuff like that, and it'd be like electrocution, pyro stuff going off. And while that's rolling off for about a good 45 seconds, you hear Corey Graves, unedited, unbleeped anything, on purpose, you hear him say, and I quote, "Holy shit." Not like we don't know because it was taped, but sort of like they were recreating Taz on SmackDown when I believe it was Brock Lesnar who suplexed Big Show off the top rope and they broke the ring to end SmackDown. In 2003, I would like to say 2000, like late 2000. I think it's early 2003. They did that, and Taz said then, "Holy shit!" But it was bleeped because it was taped. You probably couldn't get UPN to clear it. FCC things were kind of tight back then on cursing on cable television, so it was. That's why it was that sort of thing. So. But that was probably the best thing. And then we get this camera angle like this. Like if it was like a camera angle to like an actual camera in a like you see them black bulbs when you walk into stores or into hotels or different things. Those little black half spheres that's shiny. This was a camera. It looked like that. And it was a side view of that. And they were just having EMTs, like a lot, like people came out. Some of the commentary people walked up to look at the scene. Guys is hurting, moaning, groaning, moving around. Go to commercials, still come back. They still doing the same thing. The only negative to this was that they replayed it 15 times. Usually, they don't really over well, they over replay stuff, but they over replayed this for a minute. And I was like, oh my God, can you just stop replaying this? You know, I just don't want to see it replayed anymore. So they get them carted off. Now, come to find out, WrestleVotes, if you guys know WrestleVotes on Twitter, I was going to say television, on Twitter, he said, I've heard that WWE was and is working on a new set, and now we got an explanation why they did that. So, if this is true, because lately WrestleVotes has been off, and I pray to God this is true. If this is true that Raw is going to get a new set, and for a while, you know, Viking Raiders came out to their next match with no, you know, LED board, nothing. They eventually turned it back on, but it would have been cool if the whole night, you know, they would be like, oh man, we can't get the LED board back on. We need a new set, you know, and then come back next week and we got a totally new set. We get new everything. Hopefully by next week we get new something. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing for SmackDown tomorrow. If they're going to destroy some part of the set. And they get a new set next Tuesday. Who knows? But I hope we get a new set. And I hope this was the cause why. And also, we've seen Braun Strowman do this a lot of times, destroy things. We've seen Raw. We've seen Braun Strowman destroy a lot of things and get destroyed doing a lot of things. You know, so this taking him out is like, okay, this ain't much. You know, he'll be back next week, but you know, they said that Braun Strowman had more of the injuries, and I just heard that, you know, Braun Strowman would probably this is him being written off of TV as well because he has a knee injury. So who knows if they'll do both or this is just a cover up for one. If this is just a cover up for one, then man, I'm gonna be angry. But if this is both, then cool. I'm down with a new set. Let's get a new set going. New set, new graphics. You know, I'm down. I'm totally down for it. We need refreshing up. We need a fresh new look, and a whole new identity of both brands because two of the best wrestling minds running them. And I noticed that it was some stuff you could tell Paul Heyman was in, and then the rest was just freaking terrible. It was just awful stuff. And this show after this segment, I don't know what's up with them. You know, they do something cool, and then after that, they just go back to. It's a nose crash to a fiery death. This show was just. I feel like I blacked out until the main event. Even the main event was predictable because he's done that before, but yeah, so immediately we get Viking Raiders versus the New Day. Then that was just a regular tag team match, but Samoa Joe came out, attacked Xavier Woods. They made it a 6-man. Excuse me. They made it a 6-man after. They made it a 6-man after the break, and I believe Samoa Joe choked out Kofi Kingston to win that match. Then we get the whole storyline throughout the night was the 24/7 title with Drake Maverick and his now wife. She's trying to get him to do a honeymoon, and she figured out that the honeymoon's at Raw, and then she said it's either me or that title, and he chose her. But truth was was Truth was like taunting him the whole night while still getting chased by the jobbers. And then at the end of the show, Truth thought the coast was clear. His wife left, to go to the car to leave. And then he hit him with his luggage. And now Drake Maverick is a two-time 24/7 champion. And now they're on the run. Pretty much. So now that I got that out the way, we ain't got to talk about that. Another thing. What happened in the beginning, it freaked a lot of us out. While they was showing the beginning of the entrances, or even before the entrances, they showed a split second, and I mean it was split, of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford backstage with the titles in their ring gear. And I was like, oh my God, is that the Street Profits? Did I just see the Street Profits? I tweeted that so quick. I was like, am I crazy? Did I just see the Street Profits? And then maybe I refreshed my my timeline on Twitter twice. Didn't see nobody say nothing. Refreshed it again. Like 4 to 5 different people was like, did we just see the Street Profits? Did we just see the Street Profits? Am I crazy? Did we see the Street Profits? I was like, thank God I'm not crazy, because I just saw Street Profits. And then 2 segments later, they are making their debut. So maybe this is a call up. I don't know why they're calling up the Street Profits this early. I don't know what their problem is. I just don't know. Like, why are you calling everybody up but Undisputed Era? Like, I know Adam Cole's the champion, but man, why are you calling up everybody but them? Come on. Like, I don't want them to get called up and then it's an ultimate disappointment. It just killed me out. And I hate that, these guys are doing such amazing stuff in NXT and then they come up and it felt like they peaked and they don't get nothing up top in the main roster. And it kills me. But these guys are the champions. They literally had the championships on. They couldn't do that with the Viking Raiders. I don't know why they didn't do that with the World Raiders at the time, turn into the Viking Experience, turn them into the Viking Raiders. So I don't know why they didn't do that with them. Maybe they don't like them. So it was like, we don't want them to know that they're the champions. Look at them. So I don't know if that's what Vince said. So maybe Vince likes these guys, and maybe they're going to get pushed because they shuck and jive. It all comes down to that shucking and jiving. But who knows? But it was great. Every time they came on the TV, they're charismatic, especially Montez Ford. Montez Ford going to make anything, he is. And I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see more of him. It was the first good day. I don't know. I just don't know. We didn't see none of Bray Wyatt. We did see Mercy. Mercy, the buzzer. And that's all we saw. Matches. Miz had a segment. I think matches. Elias and the Miz and another 2 out of 3 falls. Rematch. They did a quick fall and then they wrestled away. And then the Miz won with a figure 4. We got a segment with, awkward Becky Lynch and her relationship. It looks like you could tell her awkwardness on television in her relationship being public. It questions if this relationship is even a thing. It questions a lot. I question it a lot. I don't think it's real to me. It doesn't seem real. Then Maria Kanellis and Mike Kanellis came in and she basically said, how are you guys going to say you're the first couple of WWE when you're not? And she was saying a whole bunch of things, and then Mike Kanellis came in the thing. She was like, how about we'll do a mixed tag match, me and my bitch versus you and yours. And I was like, why is she so totally demasculating him? Why? I felt that awkwardness the whole time. I haven't been watching 205 Live, so I don't know if he was being demasculated on that show, so. And Becky basically said her corny quote. She said, we'll smack the head off 2 of you dopes any day, let's go. And then cringe company man, Mr. Seth Rollins, said y'all done messed up. And I got a laugh from the crowd. Whoop-de-dang-do. I'm starting to see Seth Rollins a little different now. I'm not that much of a mark anymore for him because he's a company man. But Yeah, so while Maria and Mike Kanellis are walking down the ring, I could see the awkwardness on his face. I'm like, something's gonna happen here because the energy from him is just too weird. It is too weird, in my opinion. And he's wrestling. And Maria grabs the microphone, was saying you can't even you can't even mop the floor with them, and you can't even mop the floor at home. And I was like, okay, now I know where we're going with this. I kind of felt that energy. And then Becky tried to come out and hit her, and she was like, stop, I'm pregnant, stop, I'm pregnant. And he was like, what? He said, you're pregnant? And he was like, yeah, I didn't even think you were man enough to get anything pregnant. Maybe I should get the man Becky Lynch to get me pregnant. And then they both walked off, basically. It was like a big demasculation. And Becky got in the ring, put the disarmor, or the disarm him, on Mike Kanellis, and tapped him out. So I was like, was this a burial? Was this like a double burial? Like, what was the point of this? I found that weird, so that happened. Then we get Alexa Bliss, and I didn't care about that. Then that led to a match between her and Carmella. Schoolboy pin, of course, because Alexa Bliss doesn't like to take bumps. Then she actually had an actual match with Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross won with a spinning neck breaker. And then the 24/7 title thing. Didn't see the whole main event, but I saw AJ Styles holding the title. They switched it, kept them wrestling. Ricochet retained his title. He shook his hand. Club came out, sort of like how they did with John Cena when he first got into the WWE in 2016. And he was getting ready to fight him back, and they attacked John Cena, and they beat the crap out of John Cena, or beat up John Cena. You know, they did that whole thing, and they did the same thing to Ricochet. So that was Raw. Show fell off drastically. I'm sorry. From that first 15 minutes, it fell off. I give this show, just for them trying, I give them a 4.5 out of 10. Nice try, but you tried, but it failed. And maybe it'll gradually change. But if you guys continue and then make it into more segments than just the first hour and a little bit of the third hour, just try your hardest to mix it between all hours of the show and mix it in well. So I give it a 4.5. Tell me what you guys thought, and I will see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live.